Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Carrie and this is Clean Eating Kitchen, where I share easy, gluten-free and dairy-free recipes for women who are recovering from chronic health issues. And today we're going to be making some baked lentil burgers. And if you've seen my video about whether I follow a vegan diet or a paleo diet, you'll know that I kind of fall somewhere in the middle. I am not vegan. I used to be vegan, and I'm not fully paleo, but I kind of like to take the principles of both of those diet plans, and then I've kind of formulated into something that works best for me. And I would always encourage you to experiment with your diet and really determine what foods make you feel the best. So for some people on a strict paleo diet, you would not be eating legumes because legumes can be inflammatory to our intestinal tracts, and some people just don't do well with legumes. A lentil is a type of legume, and lentils come in a lot of different colors. And the lentils that I'm using today are brown lentils. Sometimes they're also called green lentils. But they're the most common type that you'll find at the store. And I will show you how to cook lentils the easiest way that I know how, which is in a pressure cooker. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And then what we're using today is 1 cup of cooked brown lentils. And what you might also see in the store are red or yellow lentils. And those are best used for Indian type dishes because they get incredibly soft and they almost fall apart when they're cooked. Or you might also see black lentils. Those are often used in salads. They're also called beluga lentils. And then there are also there's a French green lentil, and that's different from the brown lentil that we're using today, which again is the most common. And lentils, if you can tolerate them and they don't make you feel too bloated, or they don't aggravate any autoimmune disease that you have, they can be a really great source of plant-based protein. And of course they're going to be the base of our baked lentil burgers today. And one more thing about lentils, when we cook them in the pressure cooker, that the pressure cooking itself reduces the lectin content of the lentils by an incredibly huge percentage. I've heard up to 80% of the lectins, which is an inflammatory compound that's found in a lot of beans and a lot of other foods, but the pressure cooking itself reduces the lectin content. So again, I have 1 cup of cooked brown lentils that will be the base of our lentil burgers, and I'm going to place them in my food processor. And then we're going to add our other ingredients and then blend it all together. And the lentils will pretty much break apart. But they have a really nice flavor that will still be present in the burgers. And this is not a vegan recipe as I'm making it right here, because I'm using 1 egg to help as a binder. But I do have a vegan option for this recipe, which would be to use a flax egg. And a flax egg is made by combining 1 tablespoon of ground flax with 3 tablespoons of water. Then you stir that together and you let the flax egg sit for about 10 minutes, and it will become a little bit thickened, and you can use that in place of 1 egg. And if you are making a recipe that requires 2 eggs, then you would just double that. You would use 2 tablespoons of flax and 6 tablespoons of water. So for this recipe, we have the 1 cup of lentils, cooked lentils, 1 egg, and then I have about 1 cup of chopped mushrooms. And the mushrooms are kind of known in the vegan and vegetarian world as helping to have like a meat-like texture or even a flavor. I think it's that umami flavor. And mushrooms can help provide that. They're pretty much going to get really blended in because we're putting them in the food processor, but they'll still have a little bit of flavor. And then for even more flavor, we're going to add about 1/4 cup of chopped onions. I'm using green onions, but you can use white onion or red onion, whatever you have on hand. And And then I also have 1/4 cup of almond flour. And even though I mentioned I'm not strict paleo, I do pretty much try to eat grain-free, and that's why I'm not using oats, which is a common ingredient put into vegetarian burgers. My functional medicine doctor has really tried to steer me away from grains because I have a gluten sensitivity and a history of autoimmune disease, and he believes that grains can mimic gluten, and even a gluten-free grain can cause some inflammation. And then I also have 1/4 cup of roasted sunflower seeds, and I just bought them roasted. They're lightly salted, so you could use pumpkin seeds, but I like to use these sunflower seeds. They add another they just add to the texture, kind of like the thickness of the burger, a little bit of a crunchy texture. I have 2 garlic cloves that I put through a garlic press. You could also use garlic powder if you don't have fresh garlic, but you know, garlic just adds so much flavor to almost everything. I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and this will just also help the burgers stick together, and then the oil will also help the burgers brown when we bake them in the oven. The last ingredient would be 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt and 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And of course you can adjust the salt level to what you like the most. And so we're just going to put the lid on the food processor, and we're going to blend it up. Okay, this looks amazing. It is, oh my gosh, it smells so good too. I'm going to actually form these burgers. I'm going to put them on a baking sheet that I've lined with parchment paper, and then we're going to bake them, and then I'll show you how they turn out after they're baked. Okay, so the lentil burgers have been baking at 350 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes, and I did flip them once in the middle of the baking, and now we're going to take them out of the oven and see how they look. It's right behind me. They smell so good. I can smell the garlic, of course, and the mushrooms actually give it a really nice flavor. The cooked mushrooms. I'm just going to flip them back over. And 35 minutes looks to be about perfect. They are firm to the touch. I see little bits of green from the onion. And what I'm going to do actually is make a little tahini sauce, and then I'm going to layer this on a gluten-free bun, and this is going to be my lunch. And these are also great on top of a salad. You can reheat them easily in the microwave, or you can even eat them at room temperature. But I hope that you love this recipe, and I will link to the full printable recipe on my website, which is cleaneatingkitchen.com. I'll link that in the description, and I will also link to a playlist that I've created of some of my other favorite vegan recipes, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye everybody!